All right, game 3. It's not going so hot so far, but there's time to turn it around. What have we here? Draw, just cavalry. Well, technically crossroads, but that's not very good at drawing things. There's crossroads also only plus action in the short term, disciple and teacher in the long term. Trashing is cemetery or bounty hunter. There's definitely something big here that might be a little bit slow to get started. Like I really want to get up to teacher, I think. Maybe just disciple. I think I want teacher. I'd love to get teacher and put plus action on cavalry. That sounds really nice. I think that's a goal of this game. As far as the early game goes, I would really love to have the 2-5. I feel like, or the 3-4, the 2-5 and the 3-4 both just seem a lot better than the 4-3, and the 5-2. So 2-5 or 5-2, I think I would open Peasant, Band of Misfits, and that gives you the flexibility to play it as Workshop if you don't collide it with Peasant, and like Bounty Hunter if you do. On the 3-4, I think I would strongly consider just Peasant Cavalry, trigger that early shuffle, but I have none of those. I think I was going to open Bounty Hunter Peasant. I really like the idea of opening Workshop because Workshop to gain Cemetery is like Chapel-esque in nature. It's not quite as much because even if you trash 4, you gained 1, so you're functionally only trashing 3. But it's still pretty darn good. But I was a little bit worried if it collides with my Peasant, then I'm sad. And then B, Bounty Hunter can give me lots of money, which helps me buy cavalries, which accelerate my deck, but not very effectively there. Considering whether to take Ghost here, the downside is I can't buy anything. If I play Bounty Hunter on the estate and play Peasant, I could buy... What would I buy, actually? I don't want to buy Cavalry here. I would trigger a shuffle that I don't want to trigger. Tricky. Maybe I Bounty Hunt the estate and trash the copper. And I can just buy Cavalry. Not Cavalry, Crossroads. That's what I meant to say. That will help rectify the terminal collision situation. If I had like one more coin here, like if the estate were a copper, I think I would just trash Haunted Mirror and buy Crossroads, but I just can't quite afford that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna trash and buy Crossroads. This is a pretty darn good starting hand, to be honest. Well, it's no longer looking like a pretty darn good hand. No, this is fine. This is fine. I'm not going to trigger a shuffle. So my soldier and bounty hunter aren't missing the shuffle or anything. It's not ideal because I can't buy cavalry to accelerate my shuffles here at all, and that's what I'm missing out on. But it's satisfactory. I'm not gonna be too worried about this. Please don't draw your soldier. Here I'd like to trash Haunted Mirror, discard Bounty Hunter for Ghost, and then buy a 2-cost, which I can do as long as he doesn't attack me. And he didn't have a soldier in his hand at the start of this hand, but he could have just drawn one. Or actually, could he have? Let me see. Yeah, isn't it like a 50-50 shot? He didn't play the soldier last turn. So I'm pretty sure one of his bottom 2 cards is soldier. So I think there's a 50% chance he just drew soldier. And I'm about to find out momentarily whether that was the case. Oh, you know what might happen is he might just play the soldier as goat anyway to trash the haunted mirror and discard the cavalry. Maybe that's what he's considering is an alternative line, kind of like what I'm about to consider. And so maybe that's why he's deliberating here. Is maybe he drew the soldier and is considering whether to play soldier and cavalry normally or trash haunted mirror, gain ghost. I feel like I really want black market here at some point. Because, yeah, he chose the mean one. E Honda, you are a jerk. I'm still going to take the ghost, but I'm just not going to get to buy anything. Yeah, I want a black market here at some point, but I feel like I'm a little bit terminal space limited at the moment, and so I don't think that's going to come up until I've got the teacher and disciple stuff going. Okay, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. This hand will probably be fine. I'll just bounty hunt a copper and then buy a cavalry so I can play on. Is he ahead again? Why is he already playing fugitive a turn before I am? How did he get ahead? We both bought cavalry turn 3. Oh, I see the big difference. I've figured it out. Okay. So, my peasant was in that turn 4 hand. So I couldn't buy a cavalry to trigger a shuffle even if I wanted to, because I would have triggered a bad shuffle, not a good shuffle. He managed to buy cavalry turn 3, but also play his peasant and his bounty hunter turn 3. Oh my goodness, yeah. So this is, I think, the big difference. Is he found both of those and bought cavalry, which meant he was able to buy a second cavalry turn 4, and then trigger a shuffle that was actually really good, because it had his bounty hunter and his peasant and a cavalry all in it. So yeah, that's, I think, the big source of his lead, is that difference between finding peasant turn 3 and turn 4, which explains why he's a turn ahead here on the fugitive plays, despite being player 2. And already at the end of a clean shuffle. Goodness. Slow down, let me catch up. I mean, like, normally seeing peasant turn 3 versus turn 4 isn't like a big deal. You play it either way, they're going back into the same shuffle. Or soldier, for example. But here with cavalry, where you can just buy cavalries to accelerate your deck really fast, it is making a big difference. My peasant and then the soldier have both been on the bottom of each of their respective shuffles, and it's meaning I can't justifiably buy cavalry on turn 4, turn 6, whenever, because I'd be triggering a bad shuffle that keeps my good cards out of play. Would I rather trash than buy a 2 cost? I feel like the answer's got to be yeah, right? Trashing is good. Yeah, I'm now... This is the same as game 1, dang it. I was player 1, and yet am somehow a full turn and a half behind to playing fugitive, just on account of those early shuffles. Not much I can do about that. But he's had what looks like a pretty poor turn 7. So this could be my chance to get back in the swing of things. Okay, let's think long and hard about what we're going to do here. I don't have plus buy. Otherwise, I'd be thinking about trying to buy something and put it back into the shuffle, but I don't seem to be able to do that. So instead, maybe we just finish cleaning up our deck. I could bounty hunt a horse for 3 money, play soldier, that's enough to buy cemetery, play the other horse's goat. Yeah, I think that's working out. And then my deck is super duper nice and clean. The downside of that is then what does my deck do at the end of all that? Like, I've got an incredibly thin deck with a Disciple and a Fugitive in it, but no great targets. So maybe it would be better if I were to buy a Band of Misfits this turn. Then I can start playing that as Black Market and Militia, and it gives me a good target for my Disciple. And I think I could do that while still trashing a bit, right? Or can I? I can still trash one card and do that, right? I could like discard a state, play soldier, bounty hunt a horse. That's 5. And then I could... Yeah, I think I'd rather get a Band of Misfits into my deck than trash, I think. As appealing as being that squeaky clean is, I think it's just more important to me to have payload now that I've got a Disciple in my deck, and I'll be looking for good targets for it. Oh, actually, maybe it's just Workshop. I could still trash 2 coppers here and take a Workshop, which is like not as good as Band of Misfits, but like might be satisfactory and worth the difference in quality there. Kind of liking the sound of that. I do like the idea of discipling Band of Misfits a lot more than discipling Workshop, though. Oh well, thinning is winning, so we're going to stay thin. Okay, so I think I made up a turn there. I was like a turn and a half behind. Now I'm just a turn, or just half a turn behind to playing Disciple. He has more cavalries, I think, which at the moment is a hindrance to his deck, but I think will soon be a boon if he can get his teacher down and get plus action on those. I'm assuming he has that plan as well. I mean, I can't be sure, but that would be my assumption. I don't think the targets for Disciple are good enough for me to like be super worried about keeping Disciple around. I'll happily turn one into a teacher, I think. Okay, this turn was fine, but it's not the most impressive thing ever. I think I'm in a fine spot. Okay, what am I discipling? I can play 3 terminals, right? Workshop, cavalry, cavalry. I think I want to disciple something non-terminal so that I could like Workshop gain a Black Market or something and also play it this turn, maybe. That could be Bounty Hunter. Do I want 2 Bounty Hunters? Probably not, right? I don't think I want 2 Bounty Hunters. Do I? I mean, I could just Bounty Hunt the horse or the Fugitive and get the same effect. I mean, bounty hunting or discipling the Bounty Hunter does kind of make me money, which is nice. So I'm going to see if I can do that anyway. I'm not sure if I even have enough draw for that. I might have to end up discipling the horse anyway, just for the amount of draw that I need here. But maybe. Yeah, I could do like Disciple, Bounty Hunter, and put away a state horse, and that at least gives me 5 money for this Black Market play. So I could find like an outpost or something. I think that's good enough. Outpost? You're not outpost. Do I want any of you? Remake is not bad with horses, because you can like remake horses into 4s, and that's kind of cute. But I think I'd rather just Band of Misfits, probably. I don't think I care about these enough. Okay. There's going to be 5 horses down there, a band, and a bounty hunter. So I'm counting on you, Ghost. Hit one of the 5 horses. Damn it. That was relatively unlikely. It could have been worse. Hitting the bounty hunter would have been the worst case scenario. Hitting band it's okay. It's not great because now I can't disciple the band of misfits. I also would like to play it later in the turn, so I have more flexibility as to what I play it as. Like maybe playing it as a second black market once I've got money in my hand. But it wasn't meant to be. I'm thinking I'll probably play it as like militia first and then black market. And then I'll try to draw my deck. And then, what's my terminal situation like? I need to play a teacher. I've got a workshop. I've got, all of a sudden I'm thinking maybe I need to play this as bounty hunter for the plus action. I've got a crossroads, which gives me the ability to play 3 actions. And down there I've got cavalry, workshop, teacher, black market, which is 5. That's a lot. That's a lot of terminal action cards. I'm playing this as bounty hunter 1, so at least let me play 1 more of those. So I think I like that idea. All right. Play it once as bounty hunter. And then we'll play it as militia. Draw our deck all the way through. Oh, I do have a disciple, which I guess I can use as a village if need be, but not really, because I would have to disciple the bounty hunter, which doesn't have great targets right now. I can play the crossroads now. There's no value in discipling that because you don't get any effect out of playing it additional times. So now I could play the black market early and then disciple cavalry. That leaves me pretty over-terminaled, but it means if I find something good in the black market, I can draw it again. So let's do the bounty hunting thing first in the black market, and if we get something good, then we'll draw it. These look pretty good, right? I could buy me a grand market. It'd be nice if I could disciple those, like buy grand market, workshop for cav, disciple grand market, gain additional grand markets. But there's only 1 copy of each of those in the black market. Still, that seems pretty nice, right? I think I'm going to take it. Now we disciple cavalry. And I think I'm willing to draw through all this just to find the grand market. And now I can play teacher and cavalry and buy a 3, or play workshop, maybe draw something. Nothing I can really play very effectively, but I could like workshop a silver and maybe hit 5. That leaves me with fewer horses, though. I don't think I want to have fewer horses. So I think I'm just going to play teacher, play cavalry, and buy ourselves another peasant. We can put disciple on auto keep now. And now the goal is going to be to put this plus action token on cavalry, and then we're going to gain... never mind, you're fine. I was about to use some nasty words for E. Honda for getting the outpost that I wanted. But he's only got 4 money, so he can't buy it. This actually does potentially change the game a lot. I mean, not that much, because you want to play black market anyway, but now I know there's an outpost down there. And so maybe the goal is just to play black market a ton to get all the way back through the black market deck and back to the outpost, because I would love to have an outpost. Plus action cavalry. Probably just going to disciple cavalry now even. Workshop cavalry. This is just how we're going to draw things, just by gaining cavalries. Yeah, I think I've usurped the lead here. I think maybe it was just that dud turn he had, turn 7 or so, was it? But I'm feeling good. I said that last game, though. Last game, I counted my chickens before they hatched, and then he came in like a little fox or something and ate all my chickens. I do need villages. I think the thing I most want to find from the black market deck right now is villages. Thank you, you're a village. Villages. You're not a village. I don't want to buy any of these because it would mean I can't buy the last cavalry, and I want to buy the last cavalry. Let's do this first. Let's not play the cavalries yet. Let's buy peasant, cavalry, and we can spend our last terminal action play on that peasant. Okay, so I've won the cavalry split. It looks like 6-4, which is pretty good. Piles don't look low enough to be super concerning to me. Wharf, that's a good card too. Maybe not as good as usual because action space here is a little bit limited, but definitely a good card nonetheless. I can also think about greening a little bit over time here because I've got that bounty hunter. So you can take like 1 or 2 green cards per turn and stash them away. Plus with crossroads, green cards aren't the worst for your deck anyway. Recruiter, that's another really, really good card to pull from the black market, but earlier. Like, Recruiter might be the single best card you could pull from the black market in the very early game, and then Outpost being the best one you can pull in the late game, if I had to guess. Okay, play, all the horses. Let's get some money off of the horses. And let's search for some goodness in the black market deck. Hideout's a village. A little bit of a costly one, but a village. Okay, he's just going to call it. Fair enough. GG. I don't know exactly what happened there. I don't know that I outplayed him or anything. Maybe he just had a dud or something. Like he had the early game lead, and then he stopped having the lead. And I feel like nothing particularly special happened. It might have just been bad draws in that mid-game scenario. Alright, well, at the very least I got to win, which is good. I don't like losing as much as I like winning.